Movie reviews. Soul is the newest movie by Disney Pixar on Disney Plus right now, Christmas Day. Skip the theaters. They're like, we don't want any of that. We just want to go straight to the consumer. We have it. Let's talk about it. Directed by Docter, who directed other Pixar films like Monsters, Inc., Up, Inside Out, and actually co-directed by Kemp, who was a late addition, but he had a lot to do with producing and the script. They decided to just toss him in, co-director. The two of them made what I consider to be an incredible film. The plot on IMDb reads, a musician who has lost his passion for music is transported out of his body and must find his way back with the help of an infant soul learning about herself. So we're going to try to avoid as much spoilers as possible, but that's pretty much just this movie. It's a jazz musician who has this out-of-body experienced death in a way, and now has to confront himself, what his passions are, what his life means as a whole, as he is now just a soul out in the universe. This movie stars Jamie Foxx, co-stars Tina Fey. We have several quite known celebrities like Norton, Questlove, Daveed Diggs. So initially, this movie is a great time. The voice cast is amazing. It's got that colorful Pixar feel. The cinematography is beautiful. It's honestly just a gorgeous movie to watch. Now let's talk about the music, because like I said, jazz is a very big part of this movie, so the score must be amazing, right? You're correct. Trent Reznor, who you remember just came off of Make a few weeks ago, delivers another amazing score. With the help of Jon Batiste with a lot of the jazz pieces, music is honestly one of the most beautiful part of this film. We see a glimpse of the afterlife, a very small glimpse, mind you, and even before the afterlife, it's honestly just called The Great Before, and mixed in with the beautiful, colorful cinematography and the just breathtaking score, this movie is a masterpiece in so many different ways. So let's talk about the story now, because that is obviously a very part of most Pixar movies. And I will say this movie absolutely delivers. The message that this story tells is one that I think so many people need to learn, especially for adults. And honestly, I would say I think this movie is made more for adults. Now, I think kids can enjoy it, but there are going to be a lot of things that go over the head, which I think is the case with a lot of these Pixar movies. Similar to the movie like Inside Out, which I mentioned, again, Docter also directed, this movie deals a lot with the inner beings of a human being. Instead of focusing on the mind, it focuses on the soul. That is a deep subject to cover. But honestly, I think they do a great job of not going too in-depth on specific issues of the rules of this universe and how the afterlife actually works, but more so of like a metaphor of what it means for our existence now on this earth. So yes, you can absolutely overanalyze this to the point where it doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense, or you could disagree with a lot of what the film is saying, but I don't think it's actually trying to say any of that. I think this whole universe is trying to describe what it means to be a human now with a soul, and it absolutely delivers. Now, that doesn't mean the movie is flawless, because I do have several issues, more so nitpicks, that I don't think are really important to go through, but I mean, it's not the best Pixar film ever, which that sentence alone is hard to say, because when you think of Pixar movies, you think some of the best of the best. You have Toy Story, Finding Nemo, one of my favorites, Inside Out, Monsters, Inc., The Incredibles. And so is Soul really going to crack that list of movies? I would say not, but that doesn't mean it's not an amazing movie nevertheless. I think some of the minor nitpicks I had was probably the second act, which honestly feels the most like a kid's movie. Like, the setup was amazing and the ending they completely nailed, but the middle kind of portion of the movie felt the most like an animated family film. It follows a lot of tropes that Pixar movies like to follow, when there's two people that like to play off of each other, and so we've just seen it before. That, and I think the ending could have been much more powerful with an extra 5 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, the ending hits hard, it's emotional, and you might tear up during it. But the movie just ended, and I was a little surprised. I wanted just a little bit more, just like a little more taste of what is going to happen next for this character. It's also very important to mention how important this movie is to the black community, because this is the first time in a Pixar movie where a black person has been the lead, and I think it kind of counts with The Princess and the Frog as far as Disney as a whole, but I feel like it is important to mention because there's been a lot of conversations about how when it is a black lead, they tend to not even be in their body most of the movie. And that's definitely the case with this. We see this character for just a couple minutes, and all of a sudden then he's this blue soul for the rest of the movie. And so yes, it's amazing that this movie finally features a black lead, and we get to spend time with him and see a little glimpse of his culture, I'll say, as far as the music goes, living in New York City, but then it just doesn't really care about that, and it's more so about all humans as a whole. So I think it'd be great to actually get a Pixar movie that focuses on those things, but I can't complain too much because I guess it's better than nothing. Overall, this is getting a 4.5 out of 5 stars if you follow me on Letterboxd, and you should. That's Soul. Have you seen it? What do you think? Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you next time.